How you doing? Brian King, UK Flooring TV. We're over at the Flooring Industry Training Association over in Loughborough. It's the eve of the Fitter of the Year, LVT 2023. We're with head judge and compere, Ian James. Ian, how's it going?
It's going good, Brian. Yeah, really well.
Ian, how's the preparations been going for this year's semi-finals?
Preparations are all completed now, so we're happy. Everybody, tomorrow the first guys are in, they'll know what they've got to do. They do all know what roughly they've got to do because they're given a mini brief beforehand. So as from tomorrow morning, game on. The
previous few years, it's been disrupted a bit with COVID and the Queen's death. So are we all back on track now, everything? Because I know the previous competitions, we've had to pull things out and shorten it a bit. So we're all back on track now.
Fingers crossed, we're all back on track. We've not had to pull anything. The planning that the semi-finals and the finals, the planning that we've done of what the guys are going to be doing hasn't changed at all yet. So fingers crossed.
Is the entries growing like they do? They seem to be each year.
Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me how, you know, popular the competition becomes, and I think it's great that things like yourself who put it on the channel and people who basically come and see the final mainly at Harrogate think, you know, you get a lot of fitters there who go to pick up tips and then they look at it and go, I think I could do that. And it's great, for them to have a go is great.
I think what people do is when they get interested in it, they'll think, I'll just watch it for a year and see what goes on, and then the year after they enter themselves. So I think that's how it's growing, and you're getting more people entering every year. I think
you're absolutely spot on there, Brian. It's great to see. I mean, you know, the competition, if we don't have people enter, we don't have a competition. It's as simple as that. So.
This year's entries, it's good to see there's quite a few who've not entered before and names we've never heard of, things like that.
Yeah,
so
it's great to have new names and new faces. I know we've got 3 from memory. I think it's 3 guys who've been in the final or semi-finals before.
Yeah, we've got Matt Perkinson, Dan Jones and Dean Dickinson. They was in the previous finals.
That's right, they were. That's not the real Dan Jones, though, is it? That's Dan Jones number 2.
Well, there's arguments about that, but one of the Dan Joneses. Yeah. Also, we've got people like Keith Francis. I don't know Keith. Daryl Emery. I know Daryl. He's Craig Emery's brother.
I know of Daryl. I've not met him, so it's great for me too, because it's great to see new faces.
Yeah. Also Wesley Brocklesby, Ian Bolton. I know Ian is quite local to me. He's from Preston. Alan Milford, and I've spoke to Alan a couple of times. He's a good fitter. Danny Thornley.
Yeah.
I met Danny at Paddy McNicholas's open day, and he's quite local to me actually. Danny's a good fitter. I've seen some of his work online. And we've had one who's had to pull out. Is it Scott Flynn?
We have. Paul Scott's had to pull out for personal reasons, very last minute, but you know, can't be helped. He's had to pull out, and from what he's told us, I think he's doing the right thing. So, you know, we just send our good wishes to him.
This year, a bit of a change around with the judging panel. I've heard you've got a good-looking lad in. Why has Steve Ramsden stood down as a judge here?
Well, Steve stood down last year. It was no secret that he was going to do that. He was just involved in another business venture that with Nick Hood actually, and it's up and running and they've got their own business going, but it was just something that he felt he couldn't devote the time to it because he'd got to put all his effort into getting this new business up and running, which is understandable. So we had to look round and see who else could do it, and I remembered from quite a long time ago that this little voice that said, "Can I be a judge?" But because you were in charge of the cupboard at the time at Harrogate and stuff, nobody was prepared to free you up to come and be a judge. So now tables are turned and it's your turn, Brian. You're on the judging team, and it's great to have you on the team as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, I've wanted to be a judge from when it came back in 2016, but there were no space, basically.
No, unfortunately, it's one of those things that, you know, you've either got to pack up in the trade or be too old to carry on anymore, because bless him, old Jeff, you know, Jeff Hardy, highly respected, but he got to the point where he said, I really can't, you know, do it anymore. So
it's got, we knew Steve were leaving over a year ago.
Yeah.
So you know, you and Richard and Steve, you've over the previous competitions, you've shown me exactly what to look for and trained me up that way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it this year.
Yeah. And people don't realise that as judges, we have our own little briefing beforehand, so that we're all agreed on what we're expecting. We still argue about the stuff, don't we? You know, we'll disagree on points now and again, but it's always good. You've got to have 3 independent people all putting their bit in together, so that, you know, the person that wins is the rightful winner on the day, you know.
Has anything changed this year in the finals?
Yeah, obviously even I'm sworn to secrecy at the moment, but we do try and make the finals more difficult every year, or more challenging. They've got to be challenging. If it's easy, there's no point in doing it.
Well, we've all seen every year it gets that bit harder.
It does, and this year's no exception. I've got to say, you know, the guys who make it through to the final, you know, they're talented guys anyway. But the final this year will be a real spectacle to watch. So I'm hoping that lots of people make time to, you know, come on down to the final and watch these guys doing their stuff, because they'll really be proving their worth.
Has anything changed in the semi-finals? Because usually the semi-finals are quite similar each year.
They are. It's always best to try and keep it similar in the semi-finals, we found, but I had everything planned of what was happening in the semi-finals, and, you know, preparing the bays ready for that. So they are similar. It's still going to be plank on the 45 degree, but there's just I can tell you that now there's this time round there's a toilet in there. It's a bathroom that the guys are doing. So it's the usual stuff that they would encounter, plus a toilet to go round. So, but these guys, they won't be fazed by that, because they do that sort of thing every day.
Whose products are you using here?
Well, the you know, sponsors are great to us. I mean, they'll do anything for us each year to help us out. Lifestyle have provided the actual wood plank, the vinyl strip plank to be fitted. What have we got? We've got.
Is that in the semi-finals?
That's the semi-finals. Yeah, this is probably the semi-finals, because the finals. What we always try and do is rotate stuff around, so that the same person isn't being used, you know, to provide stuff in the finals each year, and it's trying to give everybody the same sort of exposure, which does create headaches as well. So because you know, I have to keep comparing lists and go, that company did that last year, so this year, you know, what have you. So but it's great. Of course, Hanson have supplied us with the plywood, because in the previous LVT competition the guys didn't have to put plywood down, whereas they will be putting plywood down this time round. So Hanson have supplied us with that.
Have you had good support from sponsors? I know from the list you've got Ball & Young, Bostik, CFGA, CVF Direct, F-Balls, Fento, which is a new sponsor this year, Hanson Ply, Interfloor, Interiors Monthly, Lifestyle Floors, Roberts, Spot Nails, Stir Rods, the Flooring Show themselves, Carpeting Flooring and Using. So that's quite some big names on there.
There are some big names on there. And Fento, I mean, Oscar came and saw us at the show at Harrogate at the finals last year, and I mean, I'd been talking to him previously to that. We'd exchanged emails and and stuff, and he just really wanted to be a part of it, and we're, you know, this, what an ideal opportunity for him, you know, because they're manufacturers of knee pads, are suppliers of knee pads, and your knees are the most important thing that a fitter has got in this game. So when your knees are gone, you're finished. So to have a sponsor on board that does that, and I know that the others, you know, Roberts, QEP, you know, they provide knee pads as well. So I can't mention everybody because I'd just be shouting names out all the time.
And the finals, they're held at the National Floor Show in Harrogate in September, as always. As always,
yes. Again, over the weekend, it'll be the Sunday and Monday, and actually what will happen is the guys, we normally announce, it's either 4 or 4:30 we'll announce the winner. That will all be publicised at the show, but what will happen, because we've actually, normally we would have 10 in the semi-finals. Here we do it over 2 days, 5 and a 5, so we've got a 4 tomorrow and then a 5 on Wednesday, but the top 5 guys will go through, I've just mentioned a burger joint, haven't I? But yeah, 5 guys will go through from after the next 2 days, and they'll be doing they'll be the guys that you see at the finals in September.
It's in the same hall as always as well.
It is, yes. It's in the King's Suite. I believe I have seen a plan of the area. I believe we're in the same spot that we were in last time round, last year, so which worked well. So fingers crossed, and I know that they've opened another hall this year as well, because there's been such a response to people wanting to exhibit this time round. So it's good news. It just shows the flooring trade is picking up. It's getting back up to where it should be.
So tomorrow's the first day of the semi-finals. We've got Tuesday the first day and Wednesday the second day. We've got a live feed as well. That's starting at 9 o'clock, is it?
Yes.
So,
yeah, there'll be a live feed. On the timings, we try and get stuff sorted on time. We have a little bit of stuff that we have to do with the guys before they officially we blow the whistle when they start, just briefing them on different things, what they can do, what they can't do. So, but those are the sort of timings it will be, and then we'll stop them. They get a set amount of time tomorrow. We normally finish them up about 2 or 3 o'clock, and after that gives us a chance to go around doing the marking for the bits that we haven't done as we've been going along.
Well, good luck to all the semi-finalists, and good luck with the competition.
Yeah.
Hope your new judge is...
I think he's going to be brilliant. I really do. And welcome on board, Bri, to you. It's great to have you on board.
Right, thanks for talking to us, Ian. Cheers.
All right.